have registered. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, quite a few actually. Five, six, about 6 people. We have 5 people here. So what I'll do is I will start in about 2 minutes. It's fine. So till that, guys, if you could just kind of tell me what you are looking for, just a bit of your background. Since we have not too many people, I could probably address each of your needs. So anybody can start, like, or if you feel shy, you can just put it on chat.
Yeah, hi Rishikesh, this is Deepak Satam over here.
Mhm.
So, having a wide range of IT statistical background, basically, having working with statistic, data analytics, and data science
Okay.
portfolio. And recently, I came across with like a concept called NFTs,
Oh, cool.
blockchain, and gaming portion. So, in a fun interest, day before yesterday I watched a movie also
Yeah.
of a free guy. So, so and today I got this invite. So I found there is something which I should explore in this area. So that's the reason I'm here in this. So it's really interesting. So I just want to enter into this different stream of IT. So I want to explore that portion. So that's the reason I'm here. So if you can
Okay.
help or guide, so it will be great.
Great, great. Just to let you know, so definitely NFT and blockchain. So blockchain-based game is something that is really catching on.
Yes.
And it would be great to marry your skills of data science with that. People are trying to
Yes.
figure out how to make a viable blockchain game. I mean, making a game is different, but making a viable game
Yes.
is
Yes. Yes.
different.
Yes.
So that would be great, pretty interesting.
Yes.
I'll speak about
Yes.
a few things. I've been working on a few consulting on a few blockchain games. So
Oh,
I
great.
will kind of drive that into the conversation today.
Oh, great, great. So,
Yeah,
so that is what my from my side. Thanks, everybody. Yeah,
yeah,
I'll be on mute. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Fine.
yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Who wants to go next? Siddharth.
Hello, can you?
Yeah, yeah. We can hear you, but it kind of got broken in between.
Just a minute.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, is it audible now?
Yeah, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, so I'm Siddharth Shetty and I'm currently in 12th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I have played around with these 3D programs like Blender
Oh, cool.
for quite a few years, like 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And recently I have taken interest into what goes on in the backside of these render engines and game engines.
Oh, great.
So yeah, so for means in the past 6 months, I have been doing some things using the OpenGL API and stuff.
Oh, oh, you have been using OpenGL. That is cool. That would
Yes,
tie
yeah,
with what Deepak. Sorry, I forgot your name. DSS. Is
Yeah,
Deepak,
Deepak
right? Yeah,
Satam.
yeah, Deepak.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That would be cool. Uh, Great.
yeah.
I'll also mention a few things about there was a, earlier Unreal used to export to WebGL, but right now it is a big mess when it comes to Unreal to WebGL or OpenGL or any sort of web-based graphics platform. So cool. That's great to know. Gaurav.
Yeah, मेरा नाम गौरव नाइक है एंड अराउंड 3ds मैक्स पे मैं काम कर रहा हूँ लास्ट 14 ईयर्स से एंड अभी मुझे थोड़ा रियल टाइम रेंडरिंग में एक्सप्लोर करना है एंड जो रियलिस्टिक एनवायरनमेंट्स और बैकग्राउंड्स होते हैं उसके लिए मुझे अनरियल ज्यादा सीखना है मतलब मुझे कोडिंग आता भी नहीं है और शायद पहले से इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं था, बट मुझे डिजाइनिंग में काफी इंटरेस्ट है. सो एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएशंस, मॉडलिंग से लेके लाइटिंग एंड जो उसके पोस्ट में वगैरह हम लोग इफेक्ट्स देते हैं, जो रियलिस्टिक इफेक्ट्स है, और रियल टाइम रेंडरिंग के लिए मोस्टली मुझे अनरियल एक्सप्लोर करना है.
Awesome. I have some good news for you. Is even if you don't like coding, Unreal has this visual scripting method, which
ओ,
makes it so easy that if you have been telling yourself कि नहीं मुझे coding नहीं करना है, you'll start liking it, and who knows, like in 1 year you could be creating some awesome programs. And I have seen
या
this happen with many people जो आए थे कि यार मुझे coding तो it is not my cup of tea, मुझे कभी नहीं जमने वाला, and now they are doing a lot of coding in
ओह,
Jupyter. So yeah, cool. And we have Prasad has disappeared. Krishma, you want to give a little introduction?
Hi, sir. Actually, this is Karthik here.
Okay. Oh, hi, Karthik. Yeah, cool.
Hi, I log in from different system as I was working.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. This is Karthik Lakshminarayan here. I have been doing architectural visualizations since last 6 years.
Hmm.
I had tried Unreal Engine like few years before, but as it was not a part of my workflow, I had stopped there.
Yeah.
Currently, as the need is increasing for the virtual and augmented reality, my clients wanted me to start entering into that field.
Oh, great.
So I have again started gaining interest in this now,
Hmm.
as I know that I have clients ready
Yeah.
as I finish learning and they can utilize that.
That is the best position to be in. So,
Yeah.
okay.
So that metaverse is also the same lineup or something on virtual reality, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so metaverse is before we start, it's okay, right? If I kind of we discuss random stuff for everybody. I guess
Yeah.
that's an interesting question
Yeah,
that
it's fine.
is being asked. So what is happening is the word metaverse I think has caught because of Facebook's little presentation. But if you look at it, there have been metaverses like almost for 3-4 years now. And there are a bunch of programs out there which have been successfully doing what Facebook has been talking about. I think the most popular one is VR chat. If you have a VR device, you can go and you can talk to people. Second is Fortnite, which is basically a metaverse. And it's actually there. It's actually something that people have been using it. Facebook is just talking about it right now. But everybody has been doing it. NVIDIA has been working on something called the Omniverse, where you'll have access to the whole uh, world, or maybe a lot of environments in which you can then play. And everybody is trying to create their own little metaverses, from like really small little studios located somewhere in Europe or US to like big companies like this. So essentially, if you take out the terminology and everything, it is using platforms like Unreal or even WebGL or Unity or whichever game engines are there to create a virtual world and letting people come in and go as they like, just like Facebook. So it's a social platform where people, but it's in 3D, where people can log in, do their activities. The activities will be persistent. So what you do once the game is done, it will not go away, or it's not like only per session. It stays there, and so it's kind of a virtual world. So if you start working with any game engine, and I'm not saying only Unreal, is you would probably come across some metaverse or some company who is building a metaverse who is using Unreal as a technology platform. People are using different technologies, and Unreal is one of them. So I hope that kind of answers your question. And it kind of, how would I say, it is not specialized to any specific discipline. For example, Karthik is in architecture, so he could set up his own little world in the metaverse, showcasing his work. You, Deepak, you could set up something like, some display out there showing your data science skills, and people would be
Okay.
kind of roaming around and they come and they look at it. It's like Minecraft customized stuff. So people are using different metaverses. We'll see like in couple of years how things develop, and you'll probably start getting inquiries about random people asking you they want to build their metaverse and you can help. Can you help on them? So we will have some adventures over there.
Yes, yes. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
A quick background about me. Some of you probably have just seen the website and have come. Is I basically am from a VFX background. One of my colleagues was actually here. I think he just disappeared. I've been doing animation and films for almost 15, 20 years, and I've been working on interactive media for now 5 years with a focus on Unreal Engine, although I do work in Unity and Godot and Unigine and other game engines. And I, in COVID, actually, I got an opportunity from Epic to conduct all these trainings, and I kind of started liking it. This is fun to conduct this training. So I've been trying to do it in a more, um, proper way. And I recently got approval as a Unreal authorized training center. I'll be able to issue certificates and everything after the training is done. But I mean, my main aim is to just popularize Unreal Engine. So I keep on randomly doing this free seminars. Till now, it was not properly advertised, or I hadn't set up a sort of something formal like a website or anything. This year, I thought let's do it properly. Although before this, almost for 1.5 years, I've been training corporates like Tata and big film studios and Infosys and these kind of guys. But it has always been business to business. I'm just kind of trying to figure out whether this will help people who are not, who want to learn individually. So yeah, I guess most of you came from my site here, and I'll be putting in random stuff here under events. So if you go to Unreal Training, it brings here. So what I'm planning to do is rather than just this introductory session that I'm doing right now, I'll probably take up specific topics and do some free sessions randomly. So that is what I plan to do. So since I have some of your emails, I'll keep on sending you mails. I also have a discounted course on fundamentals. If you're interested for a full course, which is like about 21 sessions, which I am starting from the next week. So you're free to attend that also. And yeah, with that little introduction, if you're interested in what I do for a main living, uh, I make mobile games. I also do shoots and all of that, direct shooting with like corporate videos and stuff. I create interactive presentations for engineering and stuff. So quite a bunch of stuff that I'm into. Cool. Let's start. Okay. So any of you have been playing with Unreal for quite some time, except for I think Karthik, who told me that he has tried. But how familiar are you, some of you, with? And feel free to just put it in chat if you don't want to, unmute and.
Nothing, no experience on Unreal, so very fresher kind of thing on this stuff.
Okay, that is fine. So I'm going to kind of calibrate myself to that, assuming all of you don't have any experience in Unreal. Okay. So I will just push this to full frame. So just let me know. You can see my screen completely, or give me a moment. I'm going to just change a few things so that you can see it properly. This should be actually settings. Okay, let me see whether. Okay, I hope you can see the text and everything properly now. Yeah, is it clear?
Yeah, able to see. Yes.
Okay. So that earlier one was like a compressed video. This is directly some cool video that you can see. Okay, I think we have one more person joined in, Umesh. So, hey, hi Umesh. So, just a bit of introduction for people who are completely new with this. Oh, you can't hear me properly. Let me just test 1, 2, 3. Is it fine? Checking. Okay, great. Sorry, I probably kept my volume a bit low. Okay, so I'm getting some feedback. So if you have any background noise, you can just mute it from somebody. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so this is basically when you are starting with Unreal, no, you generally start with what is called as an Epic launcher. Okay, and you come over here and you start with, but how do you get the Epic launcher? That is the big question. So to get the Epic launcher, we have to go to Unreal Engine, and I'll very quickly cover this. So go to unrealengine.com. Okay, you need an Epic account. It's necessary to create an Epic account because it gives you a lot of advantage. It does not cost anything. You just create that, and to do that, well, it's free. It will ask you like the standard way of creating accounts, and then you can sign in. I'm just doing a sign in. It will automatically log me in. And there I am logged in. Okay, what you need to create an Epic account, as you will see later, you can buy a lot of stuff from the marketplace, and whatever you buy would be tied to your Epic account. So even if you're working on, say, a system 1, and later you decide to move on a different system, okay, if you log in with your account, everything that you have bought, all the stuff that you have bought and everything will automatically get transferred over there. Okay, so it's not linked to any machine. You know, one of the scariest thing that we have is our hard disk crashing and all of that. So nothing goes away except obviously your projects which you have to back up. Okay, so once you go here, click on download, and you will get these two things. No need to be confused about it at all. You can actually technically choose any of these. Okay, but I would say choose the creator's license if you are thinking of creating videos and stuff. This is more if you're going to do just gaming. Okay, but with this you can also do gaming as well as just create videos and stuff. Okay, if you are going to focus on gaming though, then it's recommended that you do this because it has a 5% royalty after, if you earn 1 million USD, then after that you have to pay 5% royalty on that. Okay, but this would be the safe option for you. Does not matter at the moment. Download anything that you want. This will download a little small exe. Okay, this 150 MB exe, and once you run that, this opens up. Okay, and if you want to try it right now, if you don't have it, you can do that, and it will take some time. You can do it in the background, and this will open up. Okay, now the fun thing is when it opens up, you might be a bit confused. It's like, hey, I thought we said that we are going to install Unreal Engine, but what is this? These seem to be games. You know, am I supposed to play games and all of that? Well, what has happened is Epic has converted this into a games launcher. Okay, so it's like Steam. If you play games, you know Steam. So this is the Epic's games launcher, and you don't want this, right? You don't want. Yeah. If you're interested in game, obviously you'll have it, but you can then go to Unreal Engine here. So click here, and it will take you to Unreal Engine. Okay, and this is where you want to be. This is the place where you want to be. If you go to the library here, this is whatever games I have bought through the Epic Games library. So that will show up. Let me show. So I just have maybe the Unreal Engine, and I should have more games. I don't know why it's not showing. Oh, there it is. Okay. So these are the games that Epic gave away for free last month in December or something. So I'm just kind of just have it. I'm not playing them, but what you want is obviously to be in Unreal Engine. Now if you are the kind of person who is like, no, I just need to focus on work, I don't play, and I don't want this distraction and stuff, okay, you can come to settings, and you'll see here it says hide game library. So you will see that happening with many people is they have hidden the game library, and when you come here you don't see anything, you just see Unreal Engine. Okay, so you can focus on that. Yeah, just a minute, I just got a message about somebody wanting to join. Oh, it's Umesh. Hey, hi Umesh. Cool. So this is I guess most of you have seen now the Matrix Awakens and everything. So everything that is happening in Unreal Engine, whatever new stuff is there gets showed up over here. Okay, so this is a good place to know about it, what's happening and all stuff, and you can read about the news. So this is the news vlog. You probably already know there is a nice YouTube channel that you can go to. That's okay, Umesh. So Umesh is saying that he does not have a mic, so fine. For if you want to learn on your own, this is a good resource to have. There are like tons and tons and tons of stuff. Only thing is, it kind of assumes that you have some knowledge, so maybe some of you might find it a bit difficult, but I would say go ahead and explore it. I will point to some channels. First is webinar at Unreal Engine, this playlist, and Inside Unreal. Okay, these two are like really awesome playlist which you can just come and check, and they have this big videos, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour videos where they cover so many things in detail. So it would be like a really good thing to explore this. Spend some time, it's going to take some time to understand a lot of things. This is generally in white, but because of the Matrix promotion, now everything is in green nowadays. Okay, I think it will cool down after a few things. We also have Answer Hub. Okay, so we actually had two of these places where you could ask questions. So one of this is going to be closed. I think right now we just have Answer Hub. So let me just drag that in. And it is just taking some time. Oh, Answer Hub for some reason on Geo connection is blocked. So we'll go to forums, and anyway Answer Hub will be deprecated. So let me bring this. So I'm on Geo, so Geo has decided that nobody should be watching Answer Hub. So this is a place where you ask questions and everything. You're logging using the same account. Okay, so whatever account you had used, you can come, and this is also a good place to just be here and ask a lot of questions. You also have another place to ask questions is Unreal Slackers. This is a Discord group. Okay, this is probably the most active group out there. So let me try to log in there. And give it some time. So the Unreal Slacker, this is virtual production, sorry. Which is Unreal Slack? Yeah, this one. Okay, this is like a super active group, and of every, so since all of you are interested in different stuff in Unreal Engine, so for every think there are separate places. Also, there is a job board. If on gigs, you can put your work out there. It's a good place. You meet a lot of interesting people. Okay, so and random stuff is also happening. So check this out. Make sure you are here. Actually, it's super awesome. Unreal on Twitch, not recommended. Nothing much happens over there. So if you are interested, if you're a Twitch person, check it out. Okay. So all of these places are just there so that you can learn Unreal. If you just want to learn on your own, if you don't want any at your own pace, if you want to learn, this place is obviously there. For some of you might not like seeing random YouTube videos. So Unreal also has the Learn channel, okay, where they will make you go through the quick starts. So many people find it useful, but still, if you're stuck, obviously you can ask me. But this is a good place also, and what it has done is it has given you a lot of sample projects. So one of the best way to learn is to take some good project and then open it up and see how it has been done and so on. So you get some really high quality projects. And for Karthik, you might have probably already explored this, but there is an ArcViz interior which you can download and check how it works inside and what kind of quality you can get. Okay, there is some sound stuff, how to create films and all of that, and pretty lot of interesting stuff. All of these assets are free to download. Okay, you don't have to pay anything, so feel free to check it out. For Deepak, I would just recommend, although it's nothing to do with the what you are, I mean, it's not directly related, but it's very closely related to what you're wanting to do, the pixel streaming demo. So there is a little setup and you could probably explore this. There are these interesting things, how to create a car configurator, which is highly in demand. So you want to check this. Content examples is good. It shows so many features of Unreal. So you just want to download and check it. Even if you don't understand everything, once you start learning Unreal, it will all come to you. Okay.
Noted.
Yeah. There is obviously the documentation which nobody reads unless they are in deep trouble. So the documentation for Unreal has improved so much over the last couple of years. Really, it was like a nightmare to find anything useful in it. But now everything is nicely arranged, and you go to the appropriate version of the documentation, 4.27, instead of some random version that it used to take you. And if you have the patience to read, there are so many solutions over here that you can go through. Okay, the only thing is we don't have patience many times to go through that. Okay, but yeah, good resources. You are not left alone trying to figure out how to learn. If you feel, as I said, the random YouTube videos, or if they are too advanced, you might say, "Oh my God, I saw this video, but I don't know half of the thing that they are talking about." It would be great if somebody taught me from scratch. That is one of the things that I obviously do, and it's all interactive and all of that. But even then, Unreal has made this Unreal Online Learning available for free. Okay, so if you go here, it takes you to this site, and as long as you have logged in with your account, if you log in with the same account which we said of creating the Epic account, you will get access to all of this thing for free. With Unity, you have to pay. I think I don't know what the cost is for the courses. Here, you don't have to pay anything. Okay, it is completely free, and there is tons and tons of stuff. So again, for Karthik, if you're focused on architecture, so you're like, hey, I want to learn about architecture. So you can come to the content library and you can say, show me architecture based stuff. Okay, and this will be very useful once your fundamentals of Unreal are clear. Maybe initially you might find it's too complicated, But if you go here, it's going to introduce you to so many things. Some of the things maybe you never thought was even possible. So you will be like, wow, this is also possible. This is also possible, and so on. So makes for interesting learning over here. Again, as I said, it's completely free, and there is lot of stuff. So if I check, say, welcome to architectural visualization, or let's say advanced techniques. So the way it is, it's like a LMS. So you get all of these different videos that you can watch. Yeah, just a minute, getting some messages. Give me a minute. If it's not important, I will quickly come back. Okay. Sorry, it's just random stuff. Okay, so yeah, so and all of these videos are like pretty interesting. They are like, if you play this, it will tell you about uh, there are like some are like pretty long, some are pretty short. So this is around 5 minutes, 20 minutes kind of videos that you can go through and watch this. All of them free. There are quizzes, and once you do that, you kind of get those badges to help you feel like you have achieved something. So let me go here. If I go to my dashboard, you will see that I have a bunch of badges. But it's not necessary that you should have badges, obviously. So you'll see that your achievements would be over here. Okay. And all of this content is available at any time. So even if you forget it after learning, you can come back and revise it. And this keeps on refreshing every time. Yeah. This wiki is not working. Okay, crazy. If you decide, oh no, Rishi must be telling a lie, let me go and check. Okay, so if you go there to check whether the wiki is working, I wish it was working. It would be so great to have it working. But it takes you to a page which says, after over a year in maintenance mode, the wiki is permanently offline. Go figure. Okay, so this should probably go away, but it is there. If you need some orientation as you are trying to learn on your own, feel free to drop me a message. You already have my number. You can message me on WhatsApp, and any help that you need, I'll be very glad to help you out. Okay, finally, we have the marketplace. If you guys have worked with Unity, there is tons and tons and tons and tons of stuff out here. Okay, like how much do you want? You can buy sets, you can buy props just like in Unity, and they are directly importable into Unreal. So it's like super awesome. What Unreal does also is, you'll see that these are like, wow, 3,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees. Some are pretty expensive, up to 10,000 rupees also. And you might say, oh, this is a bit expensive for me. No, so what Unreal does is, every month, the first Tuesday of every month, you get free assets. So this month, these 5 assets are free. Okay, and they're not cheap assets. They are like, look at this, 21,000 rupees asset, just given away for free, 7,000 rupees asset. A complete forest out there. I'll just check this out and let's see what is there here. I haven't bought it because this month I haven't checked out. So you can see this whole environment is there for free. You can download it, you can play with it, you can create your little clips and films and everything in it. You see, if you are new to Unreal and if you have seen what people have been doing with Unreal, and you might be surprised, wow, how did they create that scene so fast? Most of them are using these assets out there. Okay, and the materials and everything you can use it in your own project. You can take this tree which is there, and maybe you want to use it in some other project. You have the water here, you want to use it somewhere. You can mix and match. You are not restricted in any way in terms of licenses or anything. You can just use it. Okay, and you don't have to pay anything anywhere, even commercially. If you use it in your commercial projects, you don't have to pay anything. Okay, only thing is, for the assets which are free for the month, only restriction is you have to buy them before the first Tuesday of the next month. Once you buy it, it's free. Okay, then it's there for you to keep forever. In that month, you just need to buy it, and it's very easy. You just have to say like add to cart, and it will go to the cart, and then I just have to say checkout. Okay, I'll do it later. Then it goes into my account, and it's there permanently, which is like super cool. Just the quality of assets, you will be blown away. Also, there are discounts happening every now and then. You will see on sale. Okay, so you'll get up to 50% discount and everything. It's happening most of the time. So if something comes on discount, you get it at a lower price, obviously. But the cool thing is, apart from this free for the month, Epic also has a permanently free collection. Okay, that is a bunch of assets to which Epic adds every month, where you will get some super cool assets. Okay, there is an ArcViz Explorer also with touch support. So I'm not sure what it is, but probably something that you might want to check out. You'll see there is this rural Australia, which has been used in so many films nowadays. It's a complete Australian outback environment, and there is a factory environment. It also lets you learn how to effectively design levels and all of that. Okay, so again, super cool stuff, completely free, and this is like you don't have to buy it in that month. It's just there. Anytime you want to use it, you can do that. Okay, as if this was not enough, the games that Epic creates, the assets for a few games, Epic kind of releases free every now and then. Okay, so you saw the Unreal Engine 5 demo. Okay, so the assets for that and everything is available for free. So if you want to check it out, this automotive salt flats, these are free. There are trucks and something like whatever you want to do with it. Some humans are there. Meta humans is available. Some environments are there. So quite a lot of stuff that you can use. And then what has happened is there was this game called Edit Finch. So all of the assets of that game have been made available for free. So you can check that out. We also have there are few games, like a lot of games were created. So there was a game called Paragon. So all the characters in that game, as well as the associated animations for them, are free. Okay, and they are just high quality. If you are very curious as to what work goes behind a game, you can download these assets, check out how they are set up, how the shaders are, how the hair is, and everything, and learn as much as you want about it. Okay, so quite some stuff for free. Now, as if this was not enough, uh, like quite a lot of things free. But then Epic also has this thing called Mega Scans, which gives you there is Megascans trees has come in just now. Okay, but it gives you all of these assets and textures for free. Now I would not recommend using this, although you can use this. There is another way of doing it, and to do that we will go to Quixel Megascans. Okay, so if you go to quixel.com, and this is, by the way, a new thing that has Megascans trees. So you get like a whole bunch of trees available for free. I seem to have lost my mouse and something has crashed. So give me a moment as my computer recovers. Okay, we are back. Yeah. So this is also crazy what has come out. This is like super high quality trees just available for free with animation, with subsurface, everything. Okay. It's just mind boggling, and you can just create forests and forests of that. If you use the Epic ID. Okay, if you sign in using your Epic ID, let me just show you what is available. So let me just sign in. What did I do? Oh, sign in with the game. Sorry, I should not have used that mail ID. I should have just said sign in with Epic ID, and I should be signed in. Maybe it will ask me for a password or something. In the meantime, if you want to unmute and ask any questions, feel free to ask questions at any time. This is going to take a little because I'm streaming and all of that, so it's probably taking some time. Okay, there we are logged in, and what it does is you get access to in products. You can go to Megascans, and I'll use browse Megascans, and look at that. Okay, all of these assets and textures that if you have been in the architecture or 3D space, you know, it has been a pain to get these textures, are very expensive to get these textures and assets. Okay, so all of these assets are again available completely for free as long as you use it with Unreal Engine. Okay, you cannot use it with say 3ds Max or something. As long as you are using with Unreal Engine, all these assets are free. Let's look at textures. So if I go to surfaces, you see a lot of stuff. See, if I choose even concrete, I have all of these different concrete examples. Okay, there are about, I think 15 to 16,000, yeah, 16,000 assets just available for free. And you could go to say collections, and you can see different environments. So if you're like, oh, this is cool, let me see what this is. Okay, so whatever is needed to create this kind of environment, all the stuff is available for you. Okay, so you can look at all these different environments.
I'm just getting the introduction screen only. So,
oh, did you log in?
Yeah, on the screen it is just showing introduction. Entries, that's all.
Oh no, so if you go there, I'm not sure whether it will take me there. So here you can log in.
Okay.
With Megascan with your Epic ID.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can go to products here. Look here, products. Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it later. I will watch it later.
So yeah, look at that. I think you'll probably spend a month just watching like what is available and then deciding where to use it. It just tons and tons of stuff, and all of the shaders and everything, you can do, and you can change if you want to, or you can use in a different project or whatever. Again, you don't have to pay a single rupee for anything. Once you download this, it becomes available on your local also. So here it's online. Now a good way to do that would be, let me just go to Quixel again. Okay, instead of doing it off the browser, which is fine, but it's a little clumsy. What you could do is again go to products, and in products, drilling something in my building. So you can go to Bridge and Mixer. Okay, so these are two programs which are available for free. And if you have been using Substance, Painter, or something, these are the equivalents, we can say. Okay, so Bridge is a library of assets which is the same as what I showed you now. Only thing is it is available as a local app. The Mixer is like Substance Painter where you can mix it. I'm going to very quickly show you a preview of that. Okay, so let me get rid of this. So I just don't want the browser to strain stuff, and I already have installed Bridge. Okay, so you need to download it from there, from where I showed you, and then you can just once it's installed, then you can run it. So I have already installed it. There is a standard installation process. Umesh is not able to see my screen. Anybody else having that problem? Or Umesh, if that's the case, only with
Yeah,
you?
sir. It's still stuck on the inspection
हाँ
page.
स्टिल क्विकसेल का होम पेज ही दिख रहा है.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, that is what I told you. I'm just getting the
Oh, I thought
introduction.
it was at your end. Okay.
No, 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 no.
Okay, okay.
I'm just we
Yeah.
are just watching this video.
Oh, okay, okay. So just let me see what has happened. Or you know what I will do is I will just it's OBS which is causing a problem. So give me a moment. Lost my streaming, so I am just okay. So I guess we can see this, and then let me streaming troubles down. Let us stop share and let me share the screen again. Yeah. Wait, not yet. Okay. I guess now everybody should be able to see a new screen with a car or something and things.
Yeah, it's vehicle mud and slash.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just kind of rewind that. So what I was talking about is, look at that. Quickxel.com. And I said that you need to do this, and you see products over here. Okay. And it just takes, because of all the things that are happening, this takes some time for the menu to pop in. Come on, menu. No, not this. That is all with my sense. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Yeah. So with browse Mogascans, you will see that all of these assets are available. Yeah, this you can see right now. Just checking. I'm just a bit nervous that.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay. Now I'm ready.
Okay, great. So all of these assets are available completely for free. Yeah, there's just tons and tons of stuff. Let me also start the chat window. That Umesh's message actually helped me figure out that it was not doing what it was supposed to do. So I'll keep it on so I can keep an eye on it. Okay. And then I went to surfaces where I showed you all these surfaces which are available. Again, as I said, all of this is for free. If I were to go to say concrete, you'll see all of these assets are there. Okay, and all you have to do is just download, and then it's available, and you can import it into your Unreal project. I'll show it to you in a moment. Now the only thing is this is available on the browser. Okay, this is through the browser which I'm working. So if you don't want that, okay, you don't want it through the browser, what you can do is you can go to the Quixel page, again to the products, and you'll see that you have Bridge and Mixer. Okay, these are two apps that you can download on your local machine. Okay, and what I have done is I have already installed Bridge on my system. Okay, so if I go here and if I type Bridge, I have already Bridge installed. This is again available for free as long as you are logged in using your Epic ID. you should be able to download. It will ask you to register and all of that. And once you do that, bridge starts. Okay, and you will see that the bridge looks very similar to the Megascans thing I show. So basically, bridge is just Megascans, but it is in an app. It's obviously also calling the website. Okay, I'm just going to close the browser here. And it is also asking to sign in. So I'll just sign in. Sign in with Epic Games using my Epic Games ID. If you don't sign in with Epic Games, then for every asset, it will tell you like $5 or $1 or whatever. Okay, but once you sign in with Epic Games, everything is available to download for free, which is super cool. Everything is there here. And I guess you have already heard about it, but you also have MetaHumans here. Okay, and you have 50 MetaHumans available, which are super high quality assets that you can drop into your scene and animate and do whatever you want with them. Okay, so MetaHumans are available, and these are some assets that I have already downloaded. Any assets that I purchase, or basically it's free only because it is in Unreal, all of that stuff that I have been using is available here. Or I can go to my local library, which is stuff that I have been using in my projects. Okay, this is stored locally. And so if you want something, so you are looking at something and you're like, oh, I like this very much. Okay, so you come here, you say, oh, gold, great. So I want one of these metals. Okay, this is not looking very fun. Let me choose something very fun. Okay, you like say this. Okay, so you click on it, and you can choose up to 8K resolution here, and then you just download. Okay, you'll see some previews also if you want to see, like, or you could expand it and see whether you like the texture. I mean, the architectural with ArcViz guys in you must be like, wow, this is so much fun. And you just download it. Okay, it will take some time to download. You can see that. And once it's downloaded, it goes on to my local library on my hard disk. So downloaded. Okay, and it should change the icon to export. So if I have Unreal Engine on, if I click export, it directly puts it into Unreal Engine and I can start using it. Okay, so it's super cool in that way. Yeah. Any questions here, by the way? Commercial usage or anything?
Is it like we have to download each time we are using a new project, or it will be stored inside the Unreal?
No, it won't be. It will be stored in the Unreal project. But if you create a new project, you will have to put it from local into your Unreal project.
Okay.
But it's stored in your local place. You can specify which path and everything. Maybe you don't want it on C drive. You want it on some F drive or something, and all that is there. But it is stored in Bridge, not in Unreal. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Now your question might be, hey, lovely, I like this, let's say, what do we have here? So we have all of this nice stuff. Interesting, okay. But I want some slight changes in this. This is cool, but say if I go to rock, okay, and I see some rock, okay, so I'm like, okay, this rock. Can I make changes to this? Do I have to just use it as it is? The good news is no, you can modify this, you can customize this. And this is where that other app that I showed you comes in, which is called Mixer. Okay, so look for Mixer, which is just like Substance Painter if you have seen it. So you can come and open Pixel Mixer. Okay, and it will take some time to open up. Just give it a moment. I'll just turn off Bridge, not needed anymore. because Mixel also has its, and this is Quixel Mixer. Okay, it will take some time to load. Give me a moment, and again sign in with Epic Games. Again, as long as you have signed it with Epic Games ID, it's free. Okay, and unfortunately, I haven't signed in it for many days, so I had to type in my Epic Games ID. So let me do that. Why do I always make this mistake? Okay, and login in. Now this is super fun once you start using it, and I think you'll like this very much. I mean, Unreal Engine is obviously there, but this is a lot fun. So you basically get these nice little mixes. Okay, and I'm going to create a new mix. I'll just call this demo. And okay, and you can set like whatever resolution we want. So I'll just use 2048, but you can go with higher resolution. Now what it does is it gives you this little plane on which you can play around. So we are not going too much into detail. I just wanted to show you some stuff. And here you can go and say, hey, I want to use these materials. So all of that stuff that you saw in Bridge, is also available over here. Okay, and I could say that rock that I had liked. Okay, I want this rock. So I can click on this. And once I do that, it imports it into this. You give it some time and you see now we have this nice rock layer imported. Okay. Now I can do all sorts of modifications that I want. So I say, hey, I don't like this color of the rock. I can come over here. I can change the color. I'll just give some wild colors. So just to give you an idea. So I want red colored rock. I want a little tint of red in it. Or whatever, if I want it to be metallic for some random reason, okay, you can increase it and you can see that I'm making it more metallic. Okay, I can make changes to this as I want it. Okay, and all the properties here, you can actually also paint on these layers if you want, so quite a bit of modification. And this is not all. Okay, I can then come over here and I can say, hey, I want another layer. Okay, so I'll say I want say I want some sand. Okay, so if I add some sand, it's going to bring that sand, but it respects all the displacement and everything. So you'll see that this sand comes like this. Okay, that color is looking weird, so I'll go back to that default color. And you can see how the sand just kind of mixes here, and I can play with that. I can say, hey, this sand, I can make it like just go in the cracks, or I can have it come all the way up, exposing just a bit of. Okay, so now remember 16,000 assets plus all of this customization, which means you have actually infinite assets. You can play with the tiling and everything and all of that. And sand color also, if you want, you can like, I want a little darker sand. So you can do that, and make all the changes that you want. This is like pretty cool. You can do things like, hey, let me add some water to this. And you can see now I have some water over here. And I can then say I want some more water. So I can cover this. Yeah, if I want the water to make the rocks more wet, I can do all of that. So all this functionality is available in Mixer. It takes, I mean, it's like its own piece of software that you can do. And once you have like whatever material you like, you can then export this material out into Unreal and use it. Okay, so once you like this, you will say, hey, cool, quick export, and then you export it out into the library, and from the library you can then export it out into Unreal. So it will go into the bridge library, and from there it will go into Unreal. Okay, and then there are some tagging that you can do. You can call it names and put some tags and everything, just so that you can reuse properly in the future. Yeah, any questions by the way till now?
Yeah. Is it like we can have seamless textures
Yeah,
and also variations with them?
these are seamless textures completely.
So how much ever big the area is it will automatically replicate itself also with the variation.
Yeah, so in Unreal, there are ways to also modify this even more. So the scaling and everything you want to adjust, you can do it in Unreal also. But this is where you get all the basic mixing and everything proper.
So there is no unwrapping required for a model. We can directly
No,
utilize the material.
you definitely require unwrapping. So without unwrapping, nothing can be done, right? The texture. So this was just for a plane, but what you could also do is, I could say I wanted to work on a specific model. Okay, so I could choose, say, an FBX. So I'm using the Blender Monkey, and I think I have done some random stuff with it. So, oh, I'm using the same asset actually, but you can see, I don't know what I've been doing to the monkey. I've been torturing it, but you can then do some texturing on that model. And there are ways to choose assets, specific assets, and apply, specific textures to parts of the asset. So that's a slightly complicated workflow, which you saw here. Does it show in, do we have a splash screen? Yeah. No. So when it starts up, it shows you the image. So any asset you can actually come and then texture it with all the stuff that you have. So you have paints, you have this decals and everything that you can put on top of it. This itself requires some time to learn, but it's pretty powerful.
That's great.
Yeah. So furniture or something you want to do, you do your basic UV mapping, bring it here, and you can apply textures from the library over there. And any changes that you want to do with the PBR textures, you will just do it with some sliders over here. You don't have to basically go in Photoshop and paint it painfully. It's very fast workflow actually. Once I'll probably be introducing it to you in the main course as to how to use this. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Anybody? Shall I move? We haven't started Unreal yet. We are just talking about the Unreal ecosystem. Yeah. Okay. I guess no questions. You could just put it in the chat, or there is a reaction box in Zoom where you could just say thumbs up or something. Okay, there is one thumbs up, two thumbs ups. Cool. Okay, so these are tools that I would recommend you to have and explore. So it's not just Unreal; it is all of these tools which make everything so fast. Okay, for architectural stuff, we have Twinmotion, which is specifically made for architecture, but it's not that powerful. I mean, if you do it in Unreal, it's the best thing to do. But in Twinmotion, at least the interface is very easy, and you can do basic things like sunlight and everything. So if you want some quick output, Twinmotion is where you want to be, but if you want to be like very customized, then you want to do it in Unreal. If you learn Unreal first and then you come here, it will be like super easy. You'll be like, oh, this is too easy. Okay, again, Twinmotion is available for free, so you can just come here and download it. Unreal Engine 5 is in early access. What we are using production ready, it is Unreal Engine 4, but Unreal Engine 5 is in early access. It is not production ready, so don't use it on commercial projects yet, unless the client is ready to accept the risk of things suddenly not working. There are changes happening a lot in this, so that's why what you create now might break in the future. And you can download it and you can get a sample project just to get a sense of what this software is about. And you will actually see that the sample project is very heavy, about 100 GB. It's crazy, but it shows like what is possible nowadays with Unreal Engine. It's detailed terrain, super detailed terrain, which you can just roam for miles and miles and miles. And it's just crazy. And like even if you're just a gamer, you can just imagine what is going to come in the future games. It's just like being out there in the real world. All that thing you can test out by downloading Unreal Engine 5. We'll be talking about Unreal Engine 5 in our normal sessions. Okay. Now, library. This is where we come. This is our workplace. You will see that when you install for the first time, there will be nothing here. And then you'll just have Unreal Engine versions, or there might be a button nowadays saying install something. So you have to click on this, and what it does is a button like this appears. So let me click on this. I already have 5.27.26, so 4.25 will appear here because it is thinking maybe I want an older version. So when I click on this, 4.25 comes, okay, and then it will ask me to install. So when I say install, it's going to download Unreal Engine for the cloud and install it. Now you'll find this interesting that I can have multiple versions of Unreal Engine installed. And you might ask why. It's because you see this is a development environment, and some code that you might have written in 4.26 might not for some reason work very nicely with 4.27. And many times it happens. You start a project, it goes for 6 months, 7 months, and you get a new version, but you don't want to jump to the new version in that moment. Okay, so you can keep an old version and keep on working on that project. At the same time, if you get a new project, you can start it with the new version. So some project you will see as in 4.27, some are in 4.26. That is okay. This is in 5. So on your system, you can have projects which are of different versions, and it does not matter. Okay, as when you are, so it is telling me that it's using about 100 GB on my system because of these 3 installations. So if I feel, oh, I need to save some space, then I can come here and I can uninstall. Okay, I can come here and remove, and I will get some more space. Okay, now what is going to happen for you probably is you started working on a project in 4.22, for example. Okay, because there is a new 0.27. So you see this 4.27. So this 0.27 part updates every quarter. Okay, so in 1 year you get 4 of these versions. 4 is obviously there, so now it will be 5. So 5.1 will come, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4. This happens generally in a year. This 0.2 that you see, the third digit, is a hotfix. So when 4.27 comes and they find some bugs, then they will release a hotfix. So 0.1 will come, 0.2 will come, 0.3, 0.4. It generally 4 to 5 hotfixes come for a version. So main version, the intermediate versions here, and then the hotfixes. Okay. And so you started your project in 4.22. You moved on, you delivered the project, client was happy, everything was nice. And then after 2 years, the client suddenly calls you up and says, hey, that project, we worked on, we want to make some changes to it. Okay, and you have a heart attack saying, oh God, that was in 4.22. I don't know, like, things will work or not with 4.27 and so on. But you know that in 4.20 it works perfectly. Maybe in 4.27 it might not work correctly, okay, because of some changes that happen in the version. So you don't have to worry. You have already removed 4.22, right? So what Unreal Engine does is, if you come here and if you see this, it says 4.25.4, but I can click here and I get access to all versions. So I can go to 4.22 and I can install it at any time. Okay, in fact, I can go all the way up to 4.0. Okay, so all the versions of Unreal are available to you at any time to install. Even when you remove it and you want to go back to a version, it is there. Okay, so don't worry about keeping all the versions. You can remove that at any time if you're not using it a lot. If you want to go back to any version at any time, you can install it. Okay, and these versions are stored very nicely separately. Okay, so you'll see here that in program files under Epic, I have 0.26, 0.27 and 5. 0.26, 0.27 and 5 stored separately in their own folder. So there is no clashing between 4.27 and 4.26. Okay, and engine manages properly and loads only the appropriate files. Okay, each version might have its own separate plugin. So for example, here I have installed CZM. For 2.72, I have installed Analytics and CZM. Okay, for 5, I probably have installed Quixel Bridge. Okay, in 5, what I have done is Quixel Bridge has been integrated into Unreal. You don't have to install it separately. So that way, everything is separate. All the projects that you work on will be shown over here. Now, this can be kept anywhere on your system, even on a network drive. You'll see that this is under C, users, admin, downloads. This is under eWork, Unreal, something. You know, this is under eWork. This is also eWork, Unreal. But yeah, it could be anywhere. So this is under C, users, admin, downloads. Okay. So all the projects that you work on will show up over here in Unreal, and you can click on it and it will open the appropriate Unreal Engine. So this is 5. So it will open Unreal Engine 5 and show it. This is 4.27. If I click on it, it will open 4.27 and show it. Okay. And I was talking about assets, buying assets and everything. So see, all the assets that you buy will be stored here and available for you, even if they are not on your local system. See, as long as I log in with my ID here, okay, all my assets will be available on this particular machine. And then I can just say create project or add to project, and then it will download from the cloud and then add it to the project. I don't need to save it on my local system. And I don't need to worry like, oh, it's probably on that laptop or that machine or anything. As long as I have logged in, I can just download it. And once you download it, then it stays on that machine. So for example, this environment, I have downloaded and you see that this button is gray while here it is yellow, which means that this is downloaded and available locally on my screen. And here you will see it says 4.4 GB. Okay, so it's taking 4.4 GB on my screen, on my system. And if I click create project, it's going to very quickly create a project using this. Okay, and then I can, if I feel, oh, I need to save space, I can remove the local content by clicking here. Okay, so it's all very flexible. Don't need to worry about anything. And yeah, so that is it. These are like a lot of stuff. You might not have so many at the beginning because I've been working with Unreal for many years now. So all stuff that I have collected is available here. Okay, over the years, you will also hopefully collect a lot of these things. And one last thing for technical people is if you do not want to install it like this, and if you want to compile it for your own operating system or Linux or something, then you can get the GitHub source. So you can go to GitHub and go to the Epic Games repository. Clicking on that directly takes you over there. There is some connection and all of that needs to be done. And then what it does is you can go to the repository Okay, the Unreal Engine repository. Whoops, the link is not shown. Oh, I did not sign in. And I don't remember my password at all. Oh, cool. That was correct. So if I go to the Unreal Engine repository, all the source code of Unreal is available for you to download and you can compile it. So maybe, if you're working on a big studio or something and you need your own custom version of Unreal because you want to make changes to it, your development team wants to make changes to it. And if you join a big company, probably they will be using a custom version of Unreal Engine. Okay, and you get that whole code from here. You can download it, okay, and compile it and do whatever you want to do with it. Yeah.
Yes, I just had a query.
Hmm.
What kind of system will be suitable for the Unreal?
If you are working professionally, I would recommend a 30 series card, NVIDIA card, or else a 10 series GTX is also good. Minimum, I would say though, 2070 would be recommended, because it has RTX and everything. So I work across different machines, but generally if I'm working seriously, I'm on a 30 series card. So this system, for example, is I don't know, let me see. This has a lot of less memory, but otherwise it's a good system. So this is a Ryzen 7. I would say Ryzen 9 might be good. Memory should actually have 24 GB. Here it is just 16 GB, which is a bottleneck on this system. So you can see it's like almost full. Good to have SSD because these projects are huge, so or else it takes a lot of time to load and everything. This has an RTX 3080, so 2070 is also good, if your projects are not heavy and so on. But with nowadays, with very complicated projects, I would say a 3080 or a 3070 might be a good this thing. If you're serious, but if you're learning, a 1080 is good enough to run most of the basic stuff. Most of the advanced levels, like there are a few very heavy levels that you get for free, don't work very nicely on a 1080. Then you need at least a 2070 to work. There's no like a straightforward answer. As much as you can spend.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other thing what happens is probably you're also running Blender and other stuff simultaneously on your system, right? So you probably want to also accommodate for that. Yeah. So this is streaming and everything, and you can see my CPU activity is like crazy at about 58%. Screen capturing, it's streaming to YouTube, it's also streaming to Zoom and everything. Okay, it's not actually so much. It's generally when I'm working, it's about here 20%, but now I'm pushing it till 30. But that GPU temperature is cool, right? 60 is fine, not very hot. Right. Although you can probably hear my CPU fan screaming in the background. So, okay, so finally, let us start Unreal Engine. And to do that, you just have to click on launch.
Snap films
What?
do not exist.
What was that? Hello, Sivaram. That was a great entry. So I'm just starting up Unreal Engine and we'll just wait. And it takes some time to start. Now that splash screen, which indicates that it's starting, is starting on my primary monitor. So once it opens up, I will bring it over here. Okay, this is how Unreal Engine looks like. If you are doing it for the first time, maybe you will not have anything, it will be just clean. And there are all of these different project categories that you get access to. Okay, just if you're working with film, maybe you just want to start directly with all the plugins and everything loaded. If you're with ArcViz, you want to start with this, But just to make things simpler, what we'll do is we'll just start with games, because this is like the best way to start with, so that you understand everything. Here, what it will happen is it will do so many things behind your back that you will probably never understand what was happening. So if you start from complete scratch, then it's easier to understand. So I'll start with games next, and then there are these templates, different templates available for different kind of games. So you want to create a racing game, you want to create a top-down game, or you want to create a game like Tomb Raider, third-person game, or a game like Doom, which is a first-person game with a gun and all of that. So all of these templates are already available for you, and I would recommend starting with a template because it makes life so much easier. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with blank, and later I will pull in a template. Sometimes it happens you're not decided and you start with something and then later you think, oh no, I should have taken the third person template. So let's start with blank, which has nothing in it. And then once you choose that, it asks a lot of questions. Okay, it asks you whether you want it to be a blueprint or maximum quality and all of this. Okay, whoever that was. Is this right? Maybe this is a snipe. I'm just going to. I'm just going to remove that. God, what a pain you guys are, yeah. And now he's going to come back. I'm just going to put a waiting room on. Okay, sorry for that. Some people. Cool. I hope that was not too distracting. I'm also going to report him. Yeah, are the rest of the guys here? Yeah. Just crazy. It always happens. I try to be open, but because other thing that happens is sometimes people want to join in late and they don't want to turn on this thing, waiting room. So anyway, cool. So I think at the beginning of the session, somebody was saying that, I don't like coding so much. Okay. So this is, okay, I think I am probably being harassed. So there are a lot of people coming into the waiting room, which I'm just going to ignore. We'll stay with this small team that we have. Okay. So here you will see that we have blueprints, and this is what is pretty cool about Unreal is you don't need to code. Okay, you don't need to know to code. You don't need to know the syntax or anything. If you know the logic, like in your brain, hey, this is how I'm going to create a logic about working with Unreal. This is what I want my asset to do. This is what I want to do. If I click on something, the color should change or something. That logic, if you know, you can create using blueprints. Initially, blueprints might be a little difficult, and once you understand it, it is like super fun to use. In fact, for people who know coding, they also might want to use blueprints to very quickly prototype stuff and then optimize it in code. So if you don't want to use Blueprint, you can always use C++, but I would recommend starting with Blueprints. It's super cool. Then you have quality. Obviously, we want maximum quality for now, unless you're developing for mobile. Wow, what's that? Okay, this John Wilson is also probably. Oh, I did not notice him, but now he's gone. If you, I'll show you my screen. There are like 10 people who have sniped this stream and they want to enter the Zoom. Crazy. Okay. And there is ray tracing. You have heard probably with newer games now you can do ray tracing, right? So you can also turn off ray tracing. I would say always keep it disabled because you need an RTX card for that. Okay. You can develop for mobile or you can develop for desktop. And then we have starter content. Okay. So this is what helps you, because when you're starting, if you open Unreal and if there is nothing for you to work with, you will be like, hey, what am I supposed to do with this? So what this is cool about is it lets you have some assets, some assets just out there, and then you can start with it. So I'll just call this Unreal intro. Okay. And you know what? Just remember a few things. You can't name it with like one Unreal intro, or you can't give a space there, and so on. All of these problems are there. It has to be like a proper name, and you create this. Okay. Just any questions on this, by the way? I'm so sorry for the distraction. I also got a bit distracted. So just any questions on this? Yeah, cool. I saw I got some. I'm also quickly going to check what is happening on the stream. Okay, so I was like completely ignoring that. iPad is entered the waiting room. My God. Cool. Okay, I'm actually just going to ignore the YouTube chat if anybody is there. I am ignoring it. Next time you can join in before the session starts. So okay. So create project. Okay. Now this is going to create the basic project that you can start with. And this is going to be like, if you have worked with Unity and you kind of know how much time it takes to set up in Unity, this is going to be so much fun, because so much of the work, even the networking, multiplayer gaming stuff, is already done behind the scenes for you. So you don't have to waste time setting up everything. So it's loaded here, and this is what Unreal looks. This interface is going to change a lot, okay, in Unreal Engine 5, but the fundamentals are going to remain the same. Yeah, cool. First thing I do when I open up Unreal is I press this button, because this is like showing all the assets in my project, and when I click it, it shows me all the properties. Okay, and I'm just going to turn off some things. Okay, and who is that? Okay, it's one of our people, right? Cool. So this is good to see what are the contents. And you remember we said have starter content. So it has created this folder called starter content, and it has all of this stuff in here. Okay. And these are some assets that might be useful for you. So there are some maps, there are some textures, some props that we can use. Some of the props are already here, and so on. So it just becomes pretty easy to start. So you're like, hey, let me drop this, whatever this is. Oh, it's a big rock. Excellent. Now I have a rock in the scene, and you can start playing with this. Okay. Uh, so starter content is good. It has also nice things like this particle. So or fire if I want. So I can drag this. I have a fireplace. Okay. So this is nice. If I want some smoke, I have some smoke. All these assets are already there. Now, I also said about using the third person template and things like that. Okay. So what Unreal, if you had chosen the third person template, it would have been so much easy to start creating a third person game. This was a blank template with starter content. So you get this random stuff just to give you some idea. So what I'll do is I forgot to add the third person template, right? So I'm just going to add it at a later point. I could have done it when I was also installing, when I was creating the project, but now I will do it at a later point. And to do that, I come to add import, click here and say add feature or content pack. Okay. And when you do that, you can see again, you have this stuff that we saw, the first person template, the vehicle template, virtual reality template, everything is already there. Everything is already set. If you click on virtual reality and you connect it with your virtual reality glasses, everything just works. So I'll choose the third person template. Okay. They add to project and you will see here, this is called as the content browser. It's showing what assets do you have in your project. Okay. So here it is just showing starter content, right? So when I say add to project, you'll see it is going to create additional folders. Okay. And in additional folders, now you will see that a lot of stuff is there, out of which starter content is one of the folder. But the one that I want you to see is third person blueprint. This BP means blueprint. And there is a folder called maps. And in maps, there is a folder called third person example map. Okay. This map that was opened, you will see its name is called minimal default. And you might be a little confused that, hey, we had called this Unreal Intro. Why is it called minimal default now? The name of the project was Unreal Intro, and you can see that it is here, Unreal Intro. Okay. What is that? Gaurav Naik, who is this?
किसी ने हैक किया है शायद.
Oh, okay. So I'll just ignore this. Did the Zoom session get hacked? No, but then somebody. You are Gaurav Naik, na? But so I'll. Do you want to?
हो मी मीच गौरव नाईक आहे. मी ऍक्च्युली लॉग आउट करके ट्राय.
नाही पण तू लॉग आउट केलं ना तर I might have.
ठीक आहे बघतो 5 मिनिटं. कोणतरी ग्रुपमध्येच आहे जे काहीतरी कोणीतरी हॅक केलंय.
एक मिनिट मी जस्ट बघतो ग्रुपमध्ये कोण कोण आहे आणि इफ देर इज समबडी देन आय विल जस्ट रिमूव्ह. Sanjay was there. Sanjay is somebody who was already there, right?
No, I guess Sanjay was not there.
हाँ संजय नहीं था.
Sanjay, could you identify yourself? Okay, I'm just going to remove him. Oh no, he's saying one moment. If you could unmute and if you could just identify yourself, or else I'm just going to remove you.
Yo, what's up, mate? How you doing? See you guys. See
Okay. Idiot. Kyle Lucas. I don't know. Is there any security that... Oh, I think we did not kick him out. We kicked all the rest of the people and this guy was still there. Cool. Did we lose one more person? Gaurav decided we'll just wait for
Yes,
Gaurav to join in.
Yeah, Gaurav.
Yeah, I think he might have just hacked into Gaurav's account and then...
Oh, is that easy?
I don't know. So this sometimes happens on all these streams of these newscasters also that I see. So on this Deshbhakt's account also, I have seen that happening with that. Who is that other lady who does newscasting? I've been seeing this happening a lot. I'll check with Zoom as to like this is a nuisance. You know, generally what in this free sessions, what happens is I kind of keep the invite open, no, so random people come in. But on the paid sessions, it's not accessible, so you don't go get this nuisance, guys. So I just I might just get distracted if this invite comes from Gaurav, as I have kept the waiting room on, so now nobody can jump in.
Okay, okay.
Does anybody of you know Gaurav, or you know what? I'll just drop him a mail saying. Sorry for that, guys, but we had to take care of everybody, right?
Yes, yes, yes. No problem.
This is such a nuisance when you are doing a YouTube thing. With at least Zoom, you can kick them out. But with YouTube, you know, it's just such a pain. क्या मिलता है यार ये लोगों को? Deepak Satam.
Mine is DSS.
Yeah. No, I was just looking at the mail IDs of. I was trying to find his mail ID, which I cannot actually find. Oh, there it is. So, he must be feeling terrible because of that. So. This is interesting, but I am going to figure out how to stop this. Now that these people have challenged me, I'm going to use all my resources to figure out how to stop this. Okay, cool. So I'll just wait. If he joins in, then I'll let him in. Okay, so yeah, here we were. So this is minimal default, the map. This is the name of the project. And this is another map that we are going to open. Okay, so we will see this. Let's come to, I just want to show you where minimal default is. Okay, so this is in starter content maps, and you will see there are 3 different maps here, out of which minimal default is one of the maps. Okay, so starter map. Okay, if I'm just going to say don't save, so this opens this other map. And the way Unreal is structured is inside the project, you can have different levels. Like in a game, you have different levels, right? So these are different levels in the game. So in that project, this is one level, this is one level, and this is another level. Yeah, I hope that makes sense as to how this works. Okay, and then one of the levels is here, right? The third person example map. So let me open that. And this is a level where we have this fellow here and all of this. So you know how this is set up and everything is a bit complicated. Okay, lot of things happen over here. So this setting up is something that it takes some time to understand. But what the template has done is it has already done for you, so you don't need to worry about it. Okay. So we'll just use it, and once you have everything set up and the template has already set it up for you, all you have to do is press play. Okay, and the game is ready for you to play. So I press play, and then you'll see that this guy is there, and I can then start using my WASD screens and start moving things around. Okay, so jump is already there. I'm pressing space, so that guy is jumping. And yeah, so it's so fast that to get the basic game running, you did nothing, right? Basically, you did nothing, and you got it working like this.
So we just applied the template, some sort of
Yeah,
third-party template. Yeah.
we just
Okay.
applied a template. Now the good thing about is as you you do more complicated stuff, as you work in a company environment and everything, what will happen is you would need a specific type of template for your company, some specifications that your company will have. This is not the character, some other character has to be there, maybe there is some branding of your company and something. So you can also create your custom template, and then like some advanced person can create the template, and then the junior guys can just start using it. Just makes it so much easy to run as an organization. And if you join companies, you will see that they generally have their own templates to use as a starter point. There's a lot of things that has happened behind the scenes of the template. There is like the controls have been set, that W key is going to make the character go ahead, and the behavior of the animation, like when does he walk, when does he run, all that things have been already set up. Okay, so you can make it as a good starting point over there. And what I wanted to show you is when you test out a game, you can just press play and then it starts playing. Okay, and then you stop it. This is how you will be testing out as you develop. Every time you do something, you are going to quickly play and see whether what you thought you have coded is working correctly or not. Okay, not when you are creating assets, then you don't need it, but when you're writing code and you're creating a game level, then you generally are always clicking on play. Now you will see that there is also a mobile preview. There is new editor window, standalone game, and simulate. Okay, little different options. I'll very broadly explain to you what this does. This is with a you see, mobile phones are not very powerful, so they can't show every kind of different complicated shaders and everything. Okay, so what mobile preview will do is it will reduce the quality of the shaders, and it will give you an idea of how this game will look on a mobile device. Okay, so the mobile processors use different ways of rendering shaders, so it gives you an approximate idea how whether your game will start looking terrible on your mobile or it would be good. New editor window is nothing. This is showing up right over here. So when you do that, it just opens in a separate window. So you can place it on some other monitor and play. Okay. So sometimes some people prefer it this way, because then you can also expand it full screen and then see how the game looks in full screen. Okay. So some people prefer it that way. There is standalone game, which I'm not going to do, but what it does is it actually does a complete compilation of this for Windows, and then it starts a separate exe, as if you publish the game and then you are seeing it separately. So if any Unreal specific bugs are there, or something like some bugs are going to come only after you compile this, all that will be immediately evident to you. While you're working, generally you will do selected viewport or new editor viewport. Okay. And simulate is, it's not it's just going to do a partial simulation of physics and everything with that. You don't really want this. You most of the times you want selected viewport or new editor. Okay. Also, one way to test out a game is to launch it on the device that you want to work on. Okay. So if you click on launch, and if you have a, say you are developing a game for this thing, what do you say, you're developing a game for an iPad or something, then you can click on that device, and then it will show up over here when you have connected it via USB. Then you can click here, and then what happens is the game compiles, and on your iPad it will start running. Generally on an Android device, not an iPad, but then it starts running over there. Okay, so If you are developing on a device, you will come here. If you are just testing, you will just be running it over here. Okay. So this is what you will be always doing. Do you guys want to take a 5-minute break, or should I continue? Just let me know.
For me, continuation is fine.
Okay. If everybody is fine, we'll just quickly continue. Okay, so this is the interface, right, with the game and everything. So
Yeah, I guess people need break.
oh, so
Just something. Okay.
I'm fine with a 5-minute break if you just want to grab some water or something. So maybe we'll take a 5-minute break if it's okay with everybody. Okay. Yeah. Let's have a vote. Actually. I'm there. I'm just actually waiting for some response on chat if you guys want to say. So Siddharth has said we can go on.
I guess Siddharth said we can go on. When
Oh,
people are okay to go continue.
oh,
Sorry,
okay,
sorry,
okay.
my bad.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, great. So let's understand this interface, and I'll just caution you that while the interface elements remain the same in Unreal Engine 5, the way they look are going to be different. Okay, but don't worry. If you open Unreal Engine 5, you will immediately understand what is what. Okay, so don't worry about that. Oh, now if I learn this, will I have to relearn it in Unreal Engine 5? This is obviously the viewport. The way to use it is not the left mouse button. You might be you might use the left mouse button, and if you move it left and right, if you click the left mouse button, you see that it moves left and right. But if you move your mouse forward and backward, then it moves forward and backward. Okay. I would recommend don't use this navigation. Okay? Instead, use the right mouse button. So you can, if you press right mouse button, do left and right, you will see it looks left and right. But if you do up and down, then it actually looks up and down. Okay, so this is a very nice way to do it. Use your right mouse button and just navigate. And to navigate forward, backward, and all of this, you have WASD, which are our favorite gaming keys. Right? I think everybody who has played games has used that. So WASD, W to move forward, S to move backwards, A to move left, and D to move to the right. Okay, so with this, with the right mouse button pressed and WASD, you can reach any part of the level. Okay, this is how we move about in a level in Unreal Engine. There are some additional keys also, Q and E. So you can go down and up. Okay, so you should be able to navigate like really fast in the game. Yeah. If you guys are playing along with me, just let me know if you're facing some problems. Sometimes when you try it for the first time, it's a little confusing. Okay, so I would just very highly recommend you to use the WASD keys and the right mouse button, not the left mouse button. Although that option exists, but this is much more better. Okay, now this viewport, what you see by default in Unreal is the perspective viewport. Okay, but you can change it to any of these, top, bottom, left, and everything. And you'll see something funny happen. If I go to top, the shading disappears. It's just wireframe. And if you have worked with any 3D software, you know what wireframe is. So there is no shading in it. You can see this fellow over here, that person, and then that set that we had over here. Okay. The difference is this is in orthographic view, and it does not have perspective distortion. So it helps you measure things. So you see there is a scale here, which is telling this is about 10 meters. Okay. So you can then middle drag, and you see that this is about 3,000 units. Okay, so it gives you an idea about, like, if you want to measure anything correctly, then you can use this. Okay, now what is this units in real life? Okay, so 1 unit in Unreal is equal to 1 centimeter. So if you're modeling something in, say, 3ds Max or Blender or something, set the scale so that it is in centimeters. So when you import it into Unreal, it's all going to look proper. Okay, and the bottom and all of those views are here. So bottom, left, and so on. Okay, and I'm back to perspective. So this is sometimes helpful when you are doing, like, placing things very correctly and all of that time, then it's good to go. There's a shortcut here, Control Alt or Control middle drag. Okay, so if you press Control and then you middle drag to your left, you will get the back view. Control middle drag to your right, you get the front. Control middle drag top and bottom. Okay, and then control middle drag to in a diagonal way like this, and you get the perspective. Okay, this is like a very fast way of doing things. So I will, like, very quickly move through different views instead of going here. Yeah, again, if you are following along, let me know if you are facing difficulties. Yeah. Now, there are also different modes in which you can see the viewport. So you can come to lit. Okay, so you have lit, unlit, which is going to remove all the shadows and lighting effects. So this is good to find any issues that you might have with textures. Sometimes there are issues with the textures, and you see a black spot and you are like, hey, is that spot coming from lighting, shadow, or is it coming from the texture? So with unlit, you can find out, oh, the problem is maybe here. Okay. You can also see it in wireframe just to see how dense the mesh is. Okay, sometimes a heavy mesh makes things slow. So you can see your scene and find out where are the troublesome spots. Okay, you can also see it in detail lighting, which only shows lighting. Okay, no textures. You see, there were all these textures here. No textures will be shown. Okay, but the only thing it does is it also shows reflection and specular. Okay, and that can be a bit confusing. So there is also one more mode which says lighting only, where the specular and reflection is not shown, and you can just see what is the effect of lighting, how bright is the lighting, and so on, to fine tune your lighting correctly. Okay, very useful to find out any issues that you have, some random shadows, some shadow patches or something happening. This you can troubleshoot with this. Okay, and then you want to see reflections, and these are horrible actually. You might think that there might be some usefulness in this, but they generally look horrible. And there's a reason to that. Unreal uses a very different way of casting reflections. It's trying to cheat, because if you try to use correct reflections, physically correct reflections, it is going to cost a lot of processing power. Okay, it's going to need a lot of processing power. So it uses what is called a screen space reflections, and that they look horrible. Okay, you'll see this mysterious reflection disappearing for a while and then coming up. Okay, and that will kind of explain when we come to reflections and everything. We generally talk about that, or you can read about the difference between screen space reflection and ray trace reflections. Yeah, all this RTX talk that you hear about ray trace reflection, that has got to do with getting correct reflections using ray trace instead of the screen space stuff that is used. And then there are a bunch of stuff, these are a bit advanced stuff, which is used in gameplay and everything. So this might not make any sense to you, but in gameplay, it is very necessary to find out where the player is going to collide. If you have played games, these open world games, you remember that many of us, want to go where we are not allowed to go, right? We just want to explore and try to get into some place which seems not accessible, and the game stops you with an invisible wall. Okay, so that is like a collision wall which you can set up separately here, and you can see that collision with player or collision and so on. And that's a bit advanced, so we'll not go actually into that. I'm just kind of showing you some stuff. Also, there is a lot of behind the scenes assets, if I were to put it simply, in Unreal. And if you want to see that, or you want to turn things on and off, there is stuff over here which helps you turn things on and off. I think the easiest of them would be the grid. So I'm just going to go outside, and you see this grid. I can say, hey, I don't want the distraction of the grid, so I can turn it off. Okay, I can say that here this guy here is what is called as a skeletal mesh. So I can say, hey, don't show me any skeletal meshes. So only the other meshes are shown, and the skeletal meshes don't get shown. This is generally for troubleshooting, as to find out what the problem is. If I could say remove the static meshes. Static meshes are all of these other meshes which are not moving. So if I turn that off, you see only that skeletal mesh is there, the rest is gone. Okay, so just helps you, like whenever you have trouble in your scene, this kind of helps you figure out what are the issues and all of that. Okay, lot of things, mysterious stuff that you see here. You see what is called as a network player start. You see some icons which might make sense. It looks like a light. What is this? This is a reflection probe. Okay, so anything that is like behind the scenes stuff which is not going to be seen in the game would be shown over here with icons. Okay, when you press play, for example, see these icons. So the camera icon, this icon, this icon, this other icon, all of this, when you press play, you don't see them. Okay, they are just in the editor which you're used to set certain things. Now what happens is, while you are developing, sometimes you don't want to see these icons because these icons can get very disturbing. These don't have much icons, but sometimes you have lots of lights, lots of reflection probes and all this stuff. So if you just want to see it as it would be in the game, rather than showing it like this, you can press the G key. Okay, G for Greenwich. So if I press G, all those icons disappear. So it gives you an idea of how the game would look in the editor. Press G again, and this is back. Okay, so again, a way to visualize the game as to how it is looking. You also might want to see it full screen. Okay, so I can press F11, and F11 makes it full screen. You can play it as if, or move about the game, or even if you want to show it to a client and maybe send a screenshot or something, you can press F11, take a screenshot, and press F11 again, and it goes back. Okay, if you want it to be like like in 3ds Max or any other software, you can click this little button over here. See this one at the corner top right, and it converts it into 4 views, and each of these views you can set to whatever you want. Okay, and if you want to go back, whichever view you want maximize, click on it, it takes the maximum view. Okay, so it works like any other 3D software that you're used to. Yeah. Here, in the content browser, you have all of this stuff. Okay, you have whatever you design in your other software, your Maya or Blender, you will bring it here, and then you can populate it by dragging it from here. You can place it in the scene. Okay, you just drag it and place it, and it places it. It does some adjustment. It kind of tries to guess where it should be. It's not like other softwares. It tries to logically place itself. Yeah. So this thing, when I place it, you'll see that it has these icons over here. Transform icon, again, which we see in any 3D software. Now, the one most important thing to know for anybody who is coming from a 3D software background is that Unreal is Z up. Okay, Z axis, Z axis is in the upward direction. If you're working with Maya, you know that Y is the up axis. Okay, so you have to be aware of this. If you are used to writing your code with Y axis up, just remember this is Z up, and you can see that in this icon over here. Okay, and then you can grab this icon and then move it around. RGB X, Y, Z. Yeah, the shortcut keys are same as what is there in Maya and Mac. So W, E, and R. Okay, so W, and what I'll do is, just for simplicity's sake, instead of these assets that I drag from here, I'm going to drag some assets from here. These are inbuilt assets or inbuilt actors, or actually inbuilt classes, which we understand in more detail later on in the advanced blueprint sessions. Is that these mean something else from these things. Okay, these are assets that you build in Max, Maya, Blender, and bring it here. These have some special category. These are some special assets which also can have inbuilt code also built in them. So this class of object, I'm just going to bring it here. I'm just going to scale it down a bit. So I want to be able to show you these icons here. So see, W to move, E to rotate, and the axis color tell you, and R to scale. Yeah, or else you also have these icons over here if you want to not use the shortcut cuts. Only thing that you might want to know is in this, if I rotate it and then I go to W, it's still pointing this way. Okay, the axis is oriented to the world axis here. If I want the axis to change based on this object, there is a button here, which is there is a shortcut key, but I don't use it much. So you can go from local to this thing. Okay, local to world axis. So when it is local, then it becomes easy to move it across along the local axis. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, and like I think everybody who has worked in 3D knows the difference between this. Now there is this very interesting thing here is, and what I'm going to do is, oh, maybe I'll just do it. Okay, so let me drag this cube here. And you see that as I place it, it kind of tries to find where does it place itself at the center of the mass here, or the pivot point. The pivot point is on the surface of the on which I'm placing it. So as I move up, you see it moves there, comes down. If it's on the floor, it's on the floor. Here, it's here. So it tries to place the pivot point on the surface. Only problem is that when I am placing it here, it's fine. But when I place it here, you see it's like, this is also fine, but it would be good if it would like respect the slope of that. Okay, sometimes you need it, right? When you're placing objects, if they would align themselves to the slope of it, it would be so easy. So there is this button here. You press this and say surface snapping. Okay, then when you drag it, you'll see that it aligns to that normal. Okay, this is so helpful many times when you are just laying out assets, that you don't have to go and then arrange the incline of the object. It just drop it and it will ensure. If you don't want it, obviously you turn it off over here. Okay, and you can also give an offset if you want. There are like additional stuff. You can give a little offset so that it keeps its distance. Generally, what it will do is wherever is the pivot point of that object, that is snapped to the surface on which you are trying to place. If your pivot point is at the bottom, then it will snap correctly on this. So if, for example, these chairs, they get snapped correctly because their pivot point is there. Again, let me just turn on this. And now I like to delete it because, so now if I do this, you'll see that it aligns. Okay, there is some weird rotation also happening, but that is fine. And you'll see some funky stuff happening on the sides also. Okay, this is the rotation scale and everything that we saw. Now, whenever you make changes, you will see in the details panel all these values. So for every object that you select, there is a details panel which shows all the properties. And this is where we spend some lot of time learning all of this. I mean, the easiest is to find that location is here and the rotation is here. So this, we have moved it by 30. So I can reset it and it is 0, 0, 0. As well as the scale, I can set it and I can do stuff with this. Yeah. So this is pretty advanced, and this is like in our normal courses, we go and understand all of this, but something again you can also explore as to what it is, not very difficult. This is the details panel. This is the outliner panel. What the outliner panel does is it shows what objects are there in this level, in this third person extension map. So there's a cube, there is this rock. So if I select it, it is going to say, hey, look, rock. If I select this, it's going to say, hey, this chair. If I drag anything, it gets added over there. Okay, so here, let me drag and then I release it, and you will see the couch has come in. Yeah, so this is also to find something. So if I want to find the rock, I click on this and you'll see that the rock will be selected. Okay, if I click on the table is selected. So this is one way to do it. It's also used to create organizing as folders, so you can quickly find your assets if you don't want to use this. And the details obviously shows a lot of stuff over here. Okay, so on the interface, you kind of have now seen this thing here, which we haven't gone in detail, but we know that we can drag things from here. There's a lot of things here. There are lights, there are cameras, there are visual effects with skies and stuff like that. Some of it is like pretty impressive. And bunch of things. We are just staying with basics. Content browser, anything that you bring in from, say, texture, shaders, meshes, everything that you bring from outside, you put it on here and then you drag it over here. Anything you put in the level shows up over here, and the details of that asset shows up over here. Okay, that is how it is. And there are a bunch of things over here, which we saw the play and launch. But there is something that goes to settings, which you can also do through menu. Content browser just shows this content browser. Okay, there is a way to save this level, and all of that stuff is there. Some of it is like something that you don't want to explore right now. This is important, modes, where it gives you access to a lot of things like landscape, foliage, brush editing, and these are some advanced properties in which you can create huge landscapes, like 64 square kilometer by 64 square kilometer, big levels and everything. You can create forests by painting forest, plants and grass and everything using this. And this is an old method of creating games, which we cover sometimes optionally. So overall, this is the sort of interface that we have with uh, Unreal. Okay, and then there are a bunch of other hidden interfaces that you are not aware of, which are only available when you click on a certain asset. So when I click on this thing, then it opens up, and there is a specific editor that opens up, okay, which has all of this funky stuff that you can do. Yeah, this looks very scary, but it's actually very easy once you know about it. For example, materials. If I say, hey, let me see this material. So if I double click on this, it opens the materials over here. Yeah, and each of this has to be learned separately to get comfortable. So what I want to do, before we end this session for today, is to just show you how to write a very simple game. What does it take to write a very simple game or a very simple interaction? Okay. So I had that monkey right somewhere, which I was just showing you that when I imported it over there. So it's there somewhere on my system. So I'm just going to go off screen and then try to find it. Okay. So there is a monkey mesh which I'm going to bring it here. Okay. It's an FBX file. So I import it. I'm not going to go into detail over here. Let me just import it. Okay. So I have the monkey mesh and I have done some random stuff to it. Okay. Some shaders and everything. So if I open this, you'll see that there's this monkey and I can drag it into the scene and you see that there is this monkey. Okay. What I'm going to do is this fellow here, no, I'm going to create a simple game in which this person has to go on collect those monkeys, and the moment he collects those monkeys are going to disappear with a little explosion or something. Okay, you guys with me on what we are going to do? So
Yes.
yeah, so I'm going to build a logic, and what I want to show is how easy it is to build a logic in Unreal. At this moment you might think, oh, how is he going to do that, what is there, and just we'll walk through this and it will very nicely explain you. There are a lot of things that I'm not explaining, so some of it might not be clear. My main aim is to just show you how fast it is to create some logic. Okay, now how it works, why it works, and all of those questions I'm not answering. So in Unreal we had talked about blueprints. Okay, so blueprints is like a funny thing. It's like you take your assets and you take your code and you bunch it together, and that is what is called as a blueprint. Okay, so I'm going to create a new blueprint, which would be the assets that our fellow is going to collect. Okay, so I come over here and I'm going to create a blueprint class. Don't worry about all of the stuff that is going to happen. Just worry about what I'm doing. I'm going to create something called as an actor. You don't worry what it is, and we'll call this collectible. Okay, so this is the thing that we are going to collect. Now when I open this, it opens to a very confusing little and not a very encouraging window where it shows what is there in the blueprint. There is this little white thingy here which is just a representation. Okay, it's not something that you are going to see. This blueprint, if I drag it into the scene, you will see that white object here, but when I press play, that object won't be seen. Okay, it's just a representation there to show that, oh, there is some blueprint over there. Okay, so let's not worry about it. We want to add our monkey to it. What did I say? Blueprint is like an asset plus some code. So let's add the asset, the monkey asset, which I'm going to do through something called a static mesh. And again, don't worry what this is and all the details and everything. Just look at the speed at which things move. We'll call this monkey collectible. And I have to specify that this has to be a monkey's mesh. This is just a static mesh container that I have specified. I have to tell which static mesh. I'm going to come over here and say it has to be the monkey. And the monkey comes up. The monkey is very huge. So I'm like, hey, I don't want such a huge monkey. Let me make it 0.5. Make a smaller monkey. Okay, now you will see here, because I had dragged that blueprint, now you see that the monkey is available here. Okay, however, the monkey seems to be facing the wrong way. So here I'm going to choose the monkey, and in z-axis I'm going to say 90 degree. So now it is facing us. Okay, so this is the monkey. I'm also going to do something that is very specific to the functionality that we want. We want the person to be coming close to the monkey, and the monkey is going to disappear with an explosion. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do add this little component here, which is collision box. So what it is going to do is, once the player collides with that box, it's going to tell the game, hey, look, the player collided with that box. So I add that here. And this I want it to be a slightly big. So I'm going to make it 2.5. Maybe not 2.5, maybe let's make it 4. Okay, so a bit big. And don't worry about this, how again it works. I just am showing you. So I'll call it collision box. And then I'm going to write a piece of code. Okay, now there are easier ways to write a piece of code, but I just am going to use a slightly optimum way of doing it. So here I have the monkey, I have the collision box. Okay, what I'm going to say is, if somebody collides with that collision box, then the monkey has to disappear and an explosion has to occur. So if somebody collides with this collision box, how do I find that? So if I select this down here in details, there is a on component overlap, on component begin overlap. What it means is, if somebody were to overlap this, something has to happen. So you click on this and it adds this button, which is an event, which Unreal is going to detect, hey, somebody overlapped this this box. And then if somebody has done that, then what has to happen? So you connect it from here. I'm going to say print first. Okay, I'm just going to print string. Okay, and this is going to say overlapped. Okay, so on component begin overlap, it is just going to say overlapped. Okay, so let's see. So here, keep your eye over here in the top left corner. Okay, if I say press play, and if I go and I overlap, you'll see the message comes overlapped. Yeah, I hope everybody can see that. So it says overlapped. Okay, it detected that overlapped. Well, how did it detect it? Because I wrote this piece of code. On component begin, basically if you overlap that collision box, print this string. Yeah. So let's try to make it interesting. So what I will do is, I will keep this overlapped, but here I'm going to say spawn particle system, because spawn emitter actually at location. Okay, this is another node which comes up, and this you might say, hey, stop. Why are you writing? How do you remember this? Okay, these things come by practice, as like much of it is like nodes that you will be using again and again. So it's not something that you need to worry about. Once you start learning this, you will start remembering this. So what this is saying is, at this location, at some location, spawn an emitter, a particle system. And then it is asking which particle system, dude. So we are going to select and say on this explosion system. Okay, and I want the explosion system to be a bit big, so I'm going to scale it by 2, 2, 2. Now we haven't actually specified the spawn emitter at location. The location part we haven't specified. It is 0, 0, 0. So it is going to just do it at 0, 0, 0. You know, it is just going to spawn it at 0, 0, 0. Let me just show you what happens. So let me put this cube here and we'll say let it be at 0, 0, 0. So 0, 0, 0 is somewhere here, down, under. somewhere under there. Okay, so I'll just move it here, and this is what it is: 210 0 0 210. So what I will do here is I will come here and I will say 210. Yeah, making sense? I'm going to, when it comes here, I'm going to say, hey, spawn this explosion at this location with this scale and this location. So let's see now. Play. I come here and you see there is a explosion that spawns there. Yeah, at 0 0 210. Everybody clear with this? What's happening here? Any questions here? I hope you are getting the logic, if not the specifics, just the logic we want to understand. Okay.
Yeah. Logic able to interpret, but there are a lot of things to it.
Yeah. And this is like, this takes time to understand. I just want you to get an overview of how do you use Unreal Engine. You know, what part do you want to learn in Unreal Engine rather than, you know, just being completely clueless. So here I just want to improve. You know, I would be so happy if that explosion happens where the monkey is. Okay, so it's very easy actually. I can just drag the monkey from here, see from here, and then I can ask the monkey, hey, what's your location? Okay, and there are all these functions there. So get location. Okay, so get world location. So basically it's querying the monkey, hey monkey, what is your location? So it tells the location, and this we are going to pass it to here. Instead of that 00210, we are saying, please read the location of the monkey and pass it. Okay, see now what happens. If I come here and I go, boom, there is an explosion right where the monkey is. Okay, and this is useful because then what I can do is I can take this monkey, for example, and if I move it, say here, okay, and then if I go here, see the explosion will not occur here. But if I go here, the explosion occurs where the monkey is. Okay, it asks the monkey, where is your location, got the location, and it send it to this. Yeah, so easy, so fun. And then what I will do is I will just give a little delay, and this is needed because, you know, sometimes the code runs so fast that this part of the code might not run correctly. So I'm giving a 0.2 second delay, and I'm going to say destroy actor, which is this fellow, this collectical BB. I'm saying just destroy yourself. Okay, so what this is going to do, it's going to destroy itself. Once the explosion occurs, it's going to destroy itself. So I come here, boom, gone. Okay, so now second time if I go, I don't have the explosion because that actor has just destroyed itself. If I restart the game again, come here, boom. Okay, I can then add it to a score, and all of that thing is there where you can add it to a score, like, hey, one monkey collected or something like that. Okay, instead of that overlapped, I could just say one monkey collected. Yeah, see, very simple logic. I did not need to learn any coding or anything. At the most, I needed to know about these nodes. What is the key bind? Oh, for search nodes, no? You just have to right click this and it comes over here. And you can just, if you don't remember, you are like, what was that? Some location. So you can just type in location and it will just filter out all the stuff that is there. So even if you don't know the code, you can find out. What did he use? You will say, okay, and then you'll probably find that get world location was what I was doing. Okay, so you could also drag it from here, and then you just remember location from this session. So you will type in location, and then you will see that okay, this is what he used, get world location. And you can also try something. You are like, ये करके देखते हैं क्या होता है. Okay, you can, when you drag from somewhere, you get this is context sensitive, which is any one thing good is it's trying to say that for this node, these are the stuff that will work. If you remove context sensitive, then lot of stuff will come, which is completely useless and might not work with this. So let me show you. So if I come here and I say location, again, you'll see that it is showing me these many options. But if I turn off context sensitive, see all these options come, which might or might not work. So it just becomes easy, you don't know any coding, you don't know any blueprints, you're just experimenting, and you kind of know मुझे ये करना है, मुझे delete डालना है, मुझे destroy करना है. You can just go and see. And even if you forget the syntax, it will help you. So with such a simple logic, I was able to build in that little asset. Okay, and then you can build on it and make it more complicated and so on. Yeah, these do become very, 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 very complex as you build more functionality. But I hope this kind of give you an idea of how blueprints are written. So easy. And the fun is, once you have written a blueprint, so you like initially, for example, you wrote a blueprint for an automatic door opener. You go near a door and the door opens and something like that, Now one project is done. Now you want to use it in another project. You don't have to write all of this code again. Okay. This asset in the same project, if I want this other monkey again, all I have to do is just copy this, because this, and it is an alt drag shortcut. So when I alt drag, I get a copy of it. Okay. Or else I can just drag this blueprint from here and put it over here. Okay. As many copies as I make, Unreal, the code and everything works properly. Okay, it's a separate entity. So if I were to now play this, you'll see, boom, one, boom, another. Okay, any functionality, any, for example, if Karthik is, if he's in architecture, so if we write some place where you can turn light on and off, okay, that same code will work everywhere in every light that he is using. So you don't, once you do it, you just can reuse it everywhere and in every other project also, because this code you can then explore it to export it to your new project and reuse it. And all you want to do is, if you're like, hey, no, but in my new project, I'm not using a monkey, I'm using something else. So all you have to do is come over here and say, hey, don't use the monkey. Okay, instead of that, use some other mesh that is imported. Okay, and let's put it with that chair. Okay, this code does not change. It says monkey collected decibel and all of that. Okay, this code does not change. But here you will see now all these are chairs. Okay, I might need to adjust some stuff. And then if I go here with the chair, those explosions occur and it works. Yeah, super easy, super fun, without the stress of learning coding and everything. You can get good functionality written very easily. Okay, a lot of things here. If you know a bit of programming, there are variables, so you can store that value and all of that. Well, I'll just very quickly show something. It might not make any sense, but it is, no, that's actually going to be a little more complicated. So I'll rather not show it, because we are destroying the actors. So storing the value of the score is going to require some work. But you can store, like, if every monkey you collected is going to add to a score, we could do that. We could have a little display here showing how many monkeys has been collected and so on. So all that is built through different mechanisms. Okay. So yeah, this is like a very basic introduction to Unreal Engine as to how the interface is, how do you start with a basic level, how easy it is to start. And if you want to write some code, or bring in some assets like we brought in the monkey, how fast it is and easy it is. And then you can render it out as movies, and you can create movies and all of that stuff very easily. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, we have about 25 minutes more, and you can ask questions.
Yeah, sir. Just wanted to check, are there any ready blueprints available which
Lots,
we can directly use?
lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. On the marketplace, if you go, there are complete solutions for architecture stuff also available that you can use. But the problem is you need to know how to use them. It's like, hey, there is this bulldozer. With this, you can dig earth, but then you don't know how to run the bulldozer, then it will be a problem, right? So everything is available. If you go to marketplace, say, let's say you want to create a VR architectural walkthrough. Okay, I'm just randomly whatever first came in your mind, in my mind, I just spoke out. Okay, so let's see. Okay, one client asked me, hey, let's do a VR and you have no idea how to go about it. We know that there is a VR template, but you are like, maybe I don't have time to develop it or something. So you can go to the marketplace and see if there is some solutions. Many times you will find a solutions. I hope we find some solution for this. So let's see, we have kitchen props. We are architecture. Okay, I had to type it correctly. And I'm just going to search and see. Okay, there is something there. Let's see if I find something. Modern living room package. These are some sets. We are ready set over here, which you can probably use it to show to some clients. Let us see in code plugins or blueprints. There are some realistic hands, VR controls. Maybe you can use, there is some framework for doing this. We are grabbing code. We are dodge and touch, locomotion. Oh God, I have also created this. I should also release it. We are realistic doors, I think, with which you should be able to. We are ready bow, which I already have. Shooter, VR shooter template. Why is there nothing with I remember there was something for architecture. There should be. Oh, look, VR interactive app for customization. So you probably would buy this and then modify this. But this is what I was talking about. This is something I own. So this is an ArcViz VR with menus and everything. You can create doors, but then how to use it might be a little problem unless you know the basics. Let's see what this is. I haven't checked it for many days, so you can have a look at what it is. This is redirecting, and yes, continue to external website. So I guess you get the idea that, it's just that you need to have your fundas clear, and then you can pick any of these and then try to use it. There's tons of stuff here. Just blueprints, you'll find so many blueprints, cars and ways to communicate to a web page and whatnot. Procedural town generator, interesting. And you just need to develop it once, to your custom requirement, and then you can reuse it. You need your secret sauce, no? You don't want other competitors to just show like, हाँ उसने बनाया मैं और कम cost में करके देता हूँ by using the same plugin. So you'll probably add something special on your own. I will just very quickly do my self promotion here, and I hope you guys will tolerate that. Is these are the when I teach it in detail, I cover these topics where this is the first topic that we just did intro, but then we talk about materials, lighting, how to do blueprints in a very easy way, create movies using sequencer when you want to do just renders, particle system for fire and rain and whatever you want. So UI, buttons and interfaces, the basic game framework, how to get character animation in it, how to play videos and sound in this, more complicated particle system, how to create tools for your junior artists to use if you're somebody who gives out work, or if you're a supervisor or something, landscapes and foliage, how to create different workflows, post processing, so you can do grading of so you don't have to do it in editing, you can do it in Unreal itself, how to import complicated assets, how to have interesting sound effects, if you want to do networking, so multiple people exploring the same level, physics, cloth, hair simulation, optimizing for building so that you can package it and send it to your client. So these are some topics that we cover. That is enough of self promotion. Any questions? And just let me know, you have my mail ID. I would be happy to know your feedback as to how. I'm so sorry for that stream sniping and the Zoom terrorist attacking us. But I hope you found this session useful and whetted your appetite on learning Unreal. I have also pointed you to some free resources. If you want, those are like really good resources if you have the time and patience to go through them. Any other questions, I would be happy to answer.
So far, good. I guess I will get in touch with you separately, and then we can discuss this.
Yeah, sure.
But it was really a good, informative session.
Yeah, thank you
like
so
a
much.
person having no background on this stuff also was able to interpret and understand. So it was really great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So thank you. Okay, so guys, cool. Even if you guys don't join or anything, I will be doing some random sessions every now and then, and I will be sending you just mails. Feel free to ignore it if you're not interested, and if you don't want mails, just drop me a mail saying please stop bothering me, and I will remove you from the mailing list. Okay. So yeah. So if there are no questions, then I will stop the sessions. So I'll just wait for 2 more minutes if you have any questions, and then we'll end the session.
It was an interesting session, sir.
Hey, thank you, Karthik. Good. Cool. Great. Thank you, Siddharth. And thank you, Umesh, also. You have been, I know you don't have a mic, so cool. And I'm so sad we lost Gaurav. But hey, Gaurav, if you're on YouTube, cool. Okay, guys. Bye-bye. See you. Bye from T++. And anybody who is watching on YouTube, thank you for attending. And bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.